Many blessings, my loves. My name is Rebecca, and this is my full moon report for Pillars of the Moon. So, welcome everyone. It's pretty dark here now. The nights are definitely drawing in. This is, oh gosh, I think it's Sunday evening here in the UK. So yeah, I hope you're all doing good. I'm going to share a picture of some goats with you to begin. So the full moon coming up tomorrow on Monday is at, oh, what's it? 19:25 in the evening. That's GMT time zone. Um, and it's right on the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. So I've got this image here of the goats and the waterfall. So something that's been really wonderful to be tuning into around the time of this, full moon coming is the synastry and synergy that happens between Capricorn and Aquarius because they are so different, right? Like Capricorn is connected to Saturn, all to do with time, structure, limitations, um, like the keeping of time and responsibilities. It's kind of that the wise elder energy. And when I feel into the goat energy, like in the Capricorn, um, it's actually the goat fish. And so the star that this full moon is quite close to is in Capricorn, right at the tail of Capricorn, called Deneb Algedi, which is one of the Bohemian stars, which the alchemists used to use to make talismans and different magical items with this particular star. It's a very special star. So the goatfish is like the symbol, and the star Deneb Algedi at the end of the goatfish. It's the symbol of going from going from the earth of Capricorn and rising into, I mean, you look at this image here, it's like they're in the height of the mountains with the waterfall. And oh my God, the frequency of that waterfall must be so amazing. And I bet there's rainbows everywhere, right? And that is for me like the energy of Aquarius and Uranus as well. So when you put these kind of two energies, when you think about it as like a journey, like it's like the old like wisdom, the elder, the death of the bones and the ancient kind of wisdom of the earth. It ascends up to the mountain peaks, and it's here where there's like this purity of eternal life, the fountain of youth, that never ends. And the water keeps flowing through the mountains. It's like it's this constant flow of life that is forever. And it's that our connection to spirit, it is our source. The mountain is the source. And as all the rivers pouring down through the mountains, and like it's like, yeah, the Aquarian energy is like our connection to that source and our connection to our home. And so also connected to like the mothering energy. So I feel like the two of these energies coming together, when you think about like the energy of Capricorn being very like wise and old and rigid and kind of in their ways of how they do things, how they manage time and how they, you know, keep order. And then when we get to the Aquarian energy, it's so different. It's like completely radical. It's like falling waterfalls, crashing waters, like a waters of like a birthing mother. It's like there's no control over when that water's going to come out. That's the energy of Uranus and Aquarius. So there's some interesting aspects around this full moon, connected to Saturn and connected to the full moon, and I'll show you the charts. But the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because I feel like these energies at play are really powerful allies for us to be working with. Yeah, so think I'm going to stop sharing the goat picture now. We can jump over into the sky. So yeah, sorry, the screen's a bit bright tonight. It's just I've got my light on and it's yeah, it's dark here already. I can't believe it. Definitely in the descending part of the year here in England. Um, yeah, so here we go. So let's put 1925 on the 19th. So this is the area of the sky that we're looking at for the full moon. So you can see this is constellation Capricornus, or goatfish, and this is constellation Aquarius. So the beautiful thing that I love, love, love about these constellations is that they overlap. And I always see it as like the arm of Aquarius or the arm of the mother kind of beckoning the goat into the cosmos. Um, yeah, and that star I was talking about, Deneb Algedi, is this one here. It's the Bohemian star, and it's connected to wisdom, integrity, balance, fairness, and upholding justice. So, and that feels very like Saturn, the Capricorn, wisdom and like the maturity that's come with years and years of working hard and getting where you wanted in life. And so it's a really persevering style, you know, it's like getting the work done, putting in the effort, you know, getting like all of the things in order and all of these kind of, that's the kind of energy that this star feels like to me. But then in saying that, you know, like where it is also like the gateway to the cosmic realms, like I just shared. So it was in one of these, I was reading, I've just highlighted it here. It says, this is on inspirationalnexus.com and it's written a bit about the Bohemian stars. And I was just looking into this and I really liked this here. It says, Deneb Algedi marks the tail of the goatfish and the transmission to the sea, ocean of the cosmos where infinite knowledge resides. So the reason I highlighted that is because it's like infinite knowledge is in the cosmos, right? And so when the goatfish gets to that realization, you know, there's only so much you can know. And sometimes you have to jump into the unknowing and it's like a shift of consciousness, isn't it, into the cosmos to like, yeah. So we've got Delphinus, which is the dolphin, and there's Pisces australis, which is the southern fish, um, Pisces, obviously, Cetus the whale. So there's lots of watery constellations around here. We've got what else have we got? We've got Cygnus the swan as well, which I've always really strongly connected to um, Deneb Algedi as well. So something that I mean, my family have all got a strong connection to Deneb Algedi in our natal charts. So this full moon feels really special for us. Yeah, and like I feel like the connection of the tail of the goat, like Deneb Algedi, to Deneb, the tail of the swan in Cygnus, and how like when, you know, like it said, you know, this the crossing over or the transmission into the infinite waters of the cosmos. You know, it's like, you know, I feel like there's the energy of the swan that like carries the spirit. I don't know if anyone's read any of these kind of downloads that you get about the swans being the carriers of the spirit. Hence why, you know, she's connected to Isis, Sophia, um, like Mary, Mother Mary, the angels have all got white swan wings, you know, so it's like the guides of heaven, even like so this place in the sky here feels really kind of heavenly, I guess. That's just how the way I see it. So back to these two, Capricornus and Aquarius. So the old goat has climbed the mountain and has found his way to the fountain of youth. And this is Aquarius, and this is the water bearer. But it's actually the Holy Grail. It just looks like the image that I just shared with you about, you know, the goat climbing the mountain and the water falling, you know, and you know, when the waterfalls and the sun hits it and all the rainbows that come off the waterfalls, you know, I really see this as the Aquarian energy, you know, and Uranus is very obviously the ruler of these stars. So there is this like if you imagine like the falling of water when it comes down the rocks of the hills, and and how, you know, we couldn't stop it if we wanted. I mean, I'm sure people put dams in to try and get waterfalls to, but water's always going to find a way. It's so powerful, so strong, you know, and the waters are always moving and flowing. And so this is like the energy of rejuvenation, you know. So this the end of this lunar cycle, as we're coming into the full moon and then the last quarter moon, the moon will be with Uranus in Taurus. So it feels like this fullness of this moon is really about rejuvenating our rigidness. Maybe this is about taking a fresh, radical approach on how we feel about, the structures and the security that we live in, and how can we refresh our ideas, Mercury retrograde, around, you know, the way that we are collectively living. Um, the Capricorn and Aquarius energy, I see them as like a pair, and that they work together. And so the Capricorn frequency, it feels like the structure or the order that puts time into the chaos of Aquarius. So, you know, it's kind of like creating like a template or a calendar, you know, to mark the universal time. And it feels like these two energies, you know, that are working together, it's kind of like, because Saturn is in Aquarius right now. So Saturn, whose home is in Capricorn, is in Aquarius right now. So, you know, it's kind of like, and Saturn is retrograde. Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, is rejuvenating his timekeeping. Or some people see Saturn as female, you know, so however you see Saturn. But I honestly feel like, to me, like these there's no gender here. And I know lots of people put either female or male onto Aquarius as well, but I kind of feel like they are one in some way, how they overlap and they join. And there's like a union of these two energies of universal time, universal structure, order to the chaos, you know. And so, you know, they really are like bringing through like this eternal cosmic wisdom if we are there to receive it. And then, of course, the fountain of youth pours down, the fountain of rejuvenation pulls down, and to the fish of the southern fish, Pisces Australis, and formal heart, which is the royal star of the south, which is, you know, receiving the wisdom of the cosmos, receiving the wisdom of the divine, of source. The source of the river, you know, is the womb. Everything begins in a womb. So all of the waters have come from a womb, you know, and you know, that womb, I feel, you know, is the same womb that we go to when we close our eyes and we go into that dark inner place. It's the same womb that we was born from into our mother's womb, is reflective of the cosmic womb. And, you know, this is like when you go deep down in the ocean, you get into that dark place, is the womb. And so bringing in this kind of energy of like resurrection of this conscious womb energy, that everything is living in a cycle, just like a womb does. Everything is in a flow of a life, a death, and a rebirth, and then living again. And this cycle is constantly turning, and that's reflected in every womb on this planet. This is reflected on the cycles in nature and the womb of the earth. And this is reflected in the cycles of the universe and the way that we are spiraling through the galaxies. Yeah, so wow, don't you just love it when that happens? So Uranus as is still in Taurus, which will be for a long time now, a little while, slow Uranus, but it's still in connection to Algol, which is the head of Medusa. And so this is also one of the Bohemian stars. So I wanted to just share a little bit about these. So, you know, these are 15 stars that the alchemists would have connected. They go all the way around the sky, and they mark like specific points of the tree of life in the Kabbalists and the old kind of Druid and really ancient like ways of like creating talismans and like wands or shields, like, and they, all of these different stars have different symbols, different herbs associated with them, different stones or crystals, and were used, you know, for specific reasons to call in the energy. So now we know that Uranus is aligned to Algol. We can use both of those energies together, you know, to perhaps into a talisman, or you could connect to the energy of the serpent mother, of Medusa, to the blood, you know, and kind of have a radical shift in our blood and the way that we, you know, rejuvenate ourselves through our blood and our bleeding, you know. So there's so many ways, and then you could make something with your blood, you know, to your menstrual blood, that would be like a strong totem or talisman that you could use in ceremonies and rituals and la di da di da magic. So yeah, so this is what these stars are about. And so Uranus being at Algol now, and the full moon being pretty close to Deneb Algedi. It's a bit past it, but that's also one of the Bohemian stars. It's close enough for me to pay attention. Um, and then the sun, Mercury, and Vesta are already getting close to Regulus now, the heart of the lion. So Regulus is all about heart directed, strong leadership. It's about fame and fortune and wealth and reputation. But really, it's about heart. It's about love. It's about, with, you know, the sun here, it's that heart centered, bright warmth of connection, um, and also leadership from that place of love and heart connection. So, Regulus, as I shared in my new moon report, is a royal star and also a Bohemian star. So you can see that there's some pretty strong stars being activated by this full moon that's happening tomorrow. So I think that's all I wanted to share. Oh, Algol as well. Like Algol has got a connection, as I said, to Medusa, but also Algol has a connection to really strong feelings about things and um, strength, of course, and passion, and a connection to the unstoppable forces of nature. And I was just talking about that, wasn't I, with the waterfall thing? It's that unstoppable energy. And I also spoke about this in my new moon report, because like the natural menstruating cycle of the womb, natural, not affected by pills or anything, the natural menstruating womb cycle cannot be controlled and will flow in her own way and can be affected by the different people she's around and situations we're in. Um, and it cannot be controlled. And if we actually listen to that, watch that, and really learn from that, there's a lot of gifts in that. And like a birthing woman mother is birthing a child into the world, you know, there's, if that is done in its own natural way, baby will be born when it wants and we won't know. And so Algol to me has got a connection to the deep unknowing, the mysteries of the void, the mysteries of the primordial mother, which, you know, is a connection also to the womb, the great womb. And so I feel like when we're working with the Algol energy and this incredible power, just really remembering that it is power, you know, and this in our blood, in our DNA, it's, we have the power also to transform the blood and our DNA through different practices and awakening our Kundalini, which is also connected to Algol because it's a serpent energy, you know. And when we're doing shaking, dancing, chanting, singing, whatever we do, like we can make love making, you know, we may feel like our Kundalini in our body awakening, and that will heal. It will electrify and shake up our cells and transform our cells and heal them. Like, and that is true. Well, that from my experience at least. Um, and that takes us to heaven, my friends. And the gateway to that place is in our Kundalini, which is, you know, Lilith, Medusa, the serpent priestesses. So, yes, wow. Okay, I'm going to go into the chart. That's bright, isn't it? That's because it's a white screen on my face. Yeah, so full moon in T-square to Uranus, Sun, Mercury, and Vesta. So we can see that the moon is it's coming up on my chart just because of the boundaries right at the end of Capricorn, but we could see that it was right on the cusp, kind of like it's in between the two. There we've got Capricorn and Aquarius, but actually that they are one, really, because her arm is like leisurely beckoning Capricorn in. Come in, come in. It looks like breasts. I didn't mean for it to look like that. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yes, so square. So you can see that the moon is in square to Uranus, and Uranus is at our goal. So I've written that on there. And so we've got Capricorn, Taurus, and then in T-square. So this is bringing a lot of tension around this full moon. And this is Mercury retrograde. So we've got moon opposing Mercury retrograde for a start with the Sun and Vesta, but it's in T-square to Uranus and in Taurus. You know, so we can expect, like I was sharing, that our goal has a connection to intense forces of nature that are out of our control. You know, we could see, storms, difficult weathers, challenges. Looking at Mercury involved, we could expect to have, what was I going to say? My brain going fuzzy. I feel like radical changes to the way we think and maybe unexpected ideas coming in, but we may also experience disruptions in network communications. Yeah, scattered thoughts. Maybe we're feeling a bit erratic, like our brain is all over the place, like mine is right now. What was I just about to say? Maybe impractical ideas, things that are just like, what? You want to do what? And so, as I was saying, the moon in Deneb Algedi is all about like wisdom and like being mature and responsible. And in square to Uranus is like, no, let's just go be wild. Let's just like do these crazy things and like break all the rules and be radical and yeah. And then like, with Mercury retrograde in square as well with the Sun and Leo, and it could be kind of like these yeah, it feels like strong desires for freedom and independence, and like this tension between like wanting to be more in control or organized of the structure of things, and then this part of us that's just like, oh, forget time, we don't care what time it is, if we're late we're late, there's no such thing as late, and Saturn's like, but no, that's not the schedule, and so there's a tension between all these energies, and that we could be having, with the moon opposite Mercury retrograde, miscommunication, saying the wrong thing, getting the wrong idea about what somebody said, or you know what I mean. So just keep that in mind tomorrow when we're at the fullness of this moon, 7:30 in the evening, just to really try and communicate as best we can, really think before we speak, and but Uranus will tell me, no, just say what you feel, just get it out. So you can feel these energies already in play at me, because this full moon's right on my moon, my natal moon. So I've got quite a homecoming full moon this cycle. Um, yeah, so also wanted to talk about Saturn is still in square to Jupiter and Mars, and has been since, oh, was it the first quarter moon? Mars and Jupiter are still in square to Venus, who's also now with Black Moon Lilith. This has been intense, this aspect, and I know there's been lots of people feeling it, myself included. And it's kind of like a real strong tension that's like can challenge our relationships. Like Venus in square to Jupiter, it could challenge our finances. We could have a strong urge to like have lots of nice things. I want to buy lots of things, and really like we could be like a desire to have like pleasure and have nice things, and be beautiful and abundant and indulgent, and you know, in the Taurus energy as well, you know, it's like, oh, I could feel like there's a real chance of like overspending money or exaggerating about things to do with money. It could also be bringing up with Black Moon Lilith here, can bring up the shadows of like maybe not feeling beautiful in our body, you know, and there could be stuff around self-worth coming up around our creativity, the way we look, the way people are, you know, how we are accepted in you know, in the social side of things. It could be bringing up a lot of nervous energy as well, especially with like Uranus in square to Mercury. It's really frantic kind of mental energy, and it could be coming from a place of, you know, wanting to like be seen as beautiful and wonderful, and that, you know, to be accepted and loved, and so yeah, there's just this tension here between these energies and Saturn. And so I've spoken already about Saturn in square to Jupiter. So I'm not going to go too much into that, but you know, it is a tension between, you know, resources and spending and having enough, and it could be bringing up not only self-worth things to do with our body, but maybe like to do with our house and our life and the things that we have. You know, it could be getting into scarcity feelings or worrying that we haven't got enough and there won't be enough, or all of these kind of things. So just really, Saturn is opposing Venus as well. So it could be like she's next to Black Moon Lilith. So she could be feeling quite fiery and feisty in this position, and kind of also in her shadows around, you know, maybe she might be feeling a little bit rejected, or kind of like she's been shamed or something by this kind of patriarchal father figure of Saturn in Aquarius. Maybe there's some big energy moving between that. Maybe, you know, she kind of, you can see that there's this black moon here. So it's kind of really looking at that shadow of, you know, the Venus in the fiery energy of Leo, wanting to create, wanting to, you know, be like living the path that you love and that you value, and so like there could be like this questioning of like, well, is it practical, you know, have you got all the things you need, and there could be like a masculine or a, authoritative figure who might be challenging us at this time, and also bringing up communication stuff. So yeah, keep an eye out for our communications this full moon. Oh, I just feel like I might just turn my phone off and like, yeah, yeah, get out in nature, go and like explore like waterfalls. Oh, wouldn't that be nice to go and explore waterfalls? To really embrace that Aquarian energy. Um, I don't want to say anything else. I've just written down a note about like the intensity of our emotions with the moon in square to Uranus, that we could be feeling like this emotional upheaval or like a chaotic inner world. Like our emotions may feel crazy. We might feel all over the place. And, you know, the best thing for that is to maybe just be in that and just trust it's an energy. And what is it guiding us to? What's it leading us to? And I think, you know, it's the last quarter moon, 26th of the 8th, and Uranus is with the moon. So at this point, you know, we may feel like a shift in the way that we perceive things, or our emotions may feel different. We may feel more grounded. We may feel, you know, that we have moved through the storm, you know, and then there's like a grounded coming together of Uranus and the moon. It's like a change of our feeling about something, or like changes of this deep kind of inner emotional stuff that was moving through at the full moon. By the time we get to the last quarter moon, there's like a time of like bringing our emotions into that radical new place. It's like, say, why don't you try feeling into a different way? And how would that look? And, exploring different colors of the rainbow, breaking out of the rules and the rigid ways that we, our inner world works and flows. Um, and that is very Capricorn, like Capricorn full moon on the cusp of Aquarius. It's challenging the Capricorn moon to, like me, I'm a Capricorn moon. I can be so organized, but then I get stuck in that, like stuck in the rigidness of the emotional need to feel organized. Like the routine, like I'm a sucker for routines. That's my Capricorn moon. I feel safe if there's a routine that we all know what we're doing. And my children are wonderful for like smashing me out of that. Like, nah, let's not do that today. And it's like, my Capricorn moon really struggles with that, But my daughter's moon is in Aquarius, so she's like completely like, let's just do something completely different. And I'm like, but I need the routine. So I know that we're here in this lifetime to work through that together. She's helping my moon. Yeah, so what was I going to say? So I feel like there's like also once Mars is moving away from Jupiter, there is still a square to Saturn, and it feels like there's like an ending of a way, like a doing way, the way that we was doing things that is shifting with the moon in next to Uranus as well. And there may be an opportunity to harvest. Venus moves into Virgo, bring in a harvest of something that is unexpected. We may see a harvest that we didn't expect, and we may get a surprise that we didn't see coming. Yes, so by the end of this cycle, Mercury will go direct. I haven't got the new moon chart up just yet, but it will be a new moon in Virgo, I believe. I can't remember now. Or is it still at the end of Leo? Oh no, it's still at the end of Leo. Excuse me. I'll bring up a chart for you in a few weeks. I can't do it now. It's getting late and I'm getting tired. So anyway, I'm hoping some of that has been exciting and cosmic and yeah, wild. It's been a bit of an interesting one. I think the energies are affecting me a bit, but I just also feel inspired to be here and to share like all of these musings that are coming through. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed it. Mwah. Sweet dreams.